you see the line on Penn State versus SMU. There's no way that line is that thick if it's a Bama team that gets put in at the 11th spot right there, right? CCAT, you wouldn't feel as comfortable about that matchup.
No. If it was Alabama at Penn State, I would think that would be like Penn State -1. It might be a pick 'em. Yeah, like they would be so close.
So the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, what they did, two things that I drew from their decision to not penalize SMU for losing their conference championship game to Clemson in a thriller, and also penalize Alabama for not having a good enough resume, though many would say they're more afraid of that Bama team than SMU. What they did was they stayed firm on what they said. They set a certain precedent that I hope they can stick to going forward, which is I don't care what the brand is. I don't care what the conference is. We're going to talk resumes here, and we're not going to penalize teams for going into their conference championship games, which is what SMU did. They fought it out with Clemson. I do wonder if that was a blowout, if the selection committee does go ahead and put Bama in, but we won't have to have that discussion anyway. That's the first thing they did. The second thing they did, they put the SEC in its place. And the way I know they did is because I can tell how butthurt all of those fans are, not just Bama fans, but SEC fans in general. Because when you look at the numbers of this 12-team playoff, CCAT, Big Ten's got 4 teams. The SEC has 3. The Big Ten has 2 home games in the first round there. The SEC just has Texas hosting Clemson. And also, the Big Ten has Oregon as the 1 seed over Georgia. The Big Ten is creeping up on the heels of the SEC when it comes to dominance in college football. Oregon also, let's talk about National Signing Day, an early signing day period. Oregon is now looking like one of the best recruiting destinations thanks to Phil Knight, thanks to the amount of NIL dollars that they're able to rake in there and what Dan Lanning has been doing out there in Eugene, Oregon. Them going to the Big Ten, along with a bump from Indiana, along with Ohio State remaining a power like they have been. And again, by the way, SEC Big Ten matchup, the 8-9, Ohio State versus Tennessee, it's the Buckeyes that have home field. The SEC is in a bit of trouble here, man. I want to say that. There has been a decade and a half of dominance out of the Southeastern Conference that has looked impenetrable. But I do believe that this year is going to start. This day, this year, this weekend, we're going to look back on it as the moment when the tide begins to turn and a conference like the Big Ten makes up a lot of ground. Even a conference like the ACC, which, by the way, Georgia Tech put up a fight against Georgia. Miami whooped the hell out of Florida. There's a lot to say about what the ACC was able to do against the SEC this past year. The way that NIL has been working and the way that the transfer portal has been working and conference realignment, there is a chance that going forward, the SEC will be dethroned, and it started in the year of 2024. That's my biggest takeaway from this football weekend. It comes from Saturdays and not from Sundays because, this NFL weekend was a bit of a dud. All right, CCAT, there wasn't a lot to glean from what we saw on Sunday.
Dolphins were as interesting. It shouldn't have been, but it was. So they gave us that. I liked the 4 o'clock window with the Rams-Bills. That was just, no defense, all offense, a fun watch if you have fantasy football stakes involved in that game. So I'll give that. I took off during halftime of the Chiefs-Chargers game. Didn't think that was going to be a game, seeing as though the Chargers couldn't do anything on offense before Herbert got hurt, and so it got taken out of the game because he got hurt. And then he returned again. Yeah. So I didn't anticipate that being a game-winning field goal game between the Chargers and Chiefs, but it turned out being one.
And that's the thing, too, is for the Chargers to come back in that second half, we know that's a good football team. We know the Chiefs love to play teams close. They like when the game comes down to the wire. I'm not sure why. It's not something that I would still have a major takeaway from. The Chiefs always felt like they were in the driver's seat of that game. The Chargers are always, Jim Harbaugh coach teams, they're going to be physical. They're going to muck things up. It's going to always remain a bit interesting, but I don't think the Chiefs were ever even really that threatened by the Chargers, especially once Herbert looked like he was a bit knocked around there after a couple of Nick Bolton hits. So we'll get to some more of that NFL stuff. We'll talk some college football, but I do wonder, for you, what was the biggest thing you took away from this football weekend? If you had a buddy that missed everything, where do you start them off with? For me, it's the SEC being put in its place. For CCAT, he's looking at some of those Sunday games and saying, hey, man, I don't know, man. The Chiefs look vulnerable. No, the Chargers look good.
The biggest thing from the weekend wasn't from football. That's what I'll put it.
Uh-oh.
We'll open up the phone lines, though.
888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. Please do. What is the biggest takeaway from this football weekend? Maybe it wasn't something that happened on the gridiron. Maybe it was something that happened outside of the sport of football, which I would say is a bit curious, but also I won't fight back on it. 888-760-3776. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. This is the time of the year where there's not only season's greetings, it's not just the time of giving, it's also the time of taking, as in hot football and sports takes. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. Let us know your biggest takeaway from this sports weekend. The Baptist Health Hotline, again, brought to you by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care is a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. 888-760-3776. Let us know. Tap us in. What's the number one thing you take out of this weekend? We're going to go game by game, by the way, on the college football playoff, game by game on the opening round of the first ever 12-team playoff. We're going to do that in the get-around in just about 15 minutes. We have Jalen in the YouTube chat addressing how SMU might go wild on Penn State at Penn State in what is it, Altoona, Pennsylvania?
No, it's not Altoona. It is State College, Pennsylvania.
State College, yeah, whatever. Did they name the city after the college?
Yeah. The city didn't exist until the college went there. That's tradition.
Yeah.
That's what, some of these programs that are new to Power 4 football don't know about tradition.
How was
Big
Indiana?
Ten schools.
How was Indiana?
Indianapolis is a cool city. I like it. I liked it a lot. A lot of cool places to go out. Went to this German Christmas festival when I was riding solo for most of Sunday. Had a good time.
Yeah. A German Christmas festival.
Yes.
Isn't that where Santa Claus came from?
Cannot confirm nor deny because I do not know.
St. Nicholas?
Is Nicholas
Santa
a
Claus?
German name? Klaus. Yeah.
Klaus. Yeah,
Klaus
I think there's
German.
there's something that Germany, I believe, is where at least the secular holiday portion of, because of course, Christmas is, Jesus' birthday, Christmas, Christianity, all of that. I think in Germany is where the roots of the whole character of Santa Claus, who, of course, North Pole kids. If you're listening, kids, North Pole jumps down the chimney, delivers the presents, all that good stuff. I do believe there's some kind of Germany roots to this guy, St. Nicholas. But
yeah, it's called Weihnachten.
Yes.
Weihnachten in Germany is what Christmas is.
So did they tell you about that at the parade, or did you just learn that on the internet?
Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you learned nothing from your...
I went there. They had some warm, hard cider. It was snowing with bubbles. You ever see fake snow? They let it snow there.
Did it snow in Indianapolis?
It was not snowing in Indianapolis, no.
How cold was it?
It was like maybe 30, 35, but it was sunny. So you had a winter jacket on. You were totally fine.
How many of your Penn State buddies did you go with, and at any point in that game did y'all actually think you would be crowned Big Ten champions?
No. We were joking along the entire time. Once you saw how efficient and how unstoppable Oregon's offense proved to be, we were saying, okay, the only way for Penn State to win this game is if Oregon turns the ball over. Because, and Penn State was having similar success on offense on their own right. And Dylan Gabriel dropped a handoff early in that second half. And once Penn State didn't pick that ball up, we said, all right, that was the chance.
Yeah.
We thought that Penn State was actually going to score on the final drive. They had the ball on offense where Drew Aller threw the interception.
Man. And
then not get the 2-point conversion that was needed to bring the game to overtime. But we did not think Penn State was going to win this game.
I was hoping Penn State would get that score, mainly because I wanted to cover in punchline picks. But also, I wanted that theatrical finish that I believe that I wanted to see maybe even Oregon get the ball back at some point and try to fight. I wanted to see some more theater there. I was left a little bit high and dry because watching the ACC title game, all I could keep thinking was, damn, Miami would have won this game